I'd rather have said something to the person who was attracting the drive-by shooting than have to hear as a ghost and a spirit-like entity hover over my own damn funeral. You all hear the point that I'm making? I'd rather have impacted him from the beginning, not say, well, that's none of my business that you decide to stand out here and tip and sell drugs and shoot at whoever you think is against you. That's none of my business. But when they come by looking for you, it's my business. My point is that we're impacted by everything that everybody do in our community. Our elders die and get sick, we got to bury them. We got to stand in the waiting room, in the emergency room, while diabolical, maniacal surgeons play with sharp objects within inside of their organs. We got to stand there and see that. But it was none of our business. We're not going to tell them it's none of your business when we're there. They're not going to say that. They're going to be like, I'm happy to see you. So my point is, we can't give up on reaching our community, the individuals that we know directly, and transforming their consciousness. We cannot give up that struggle. That is the real struggle. The struggle is in the household. Wives, mothers, aunties, cousins, nephews, nieces. That is the real struggle. If we can't change them, we can't teach people how to change them. So the world doesn't change, it stays the same. Y'all see the point I'm making? It stays the exact same way as it was, but we got this revolutionary slogan. And we're really massive and really charismatic about what we're doing. But we can't change the slightest of individuals. We can't wake them up. That are close to us, that are among us. We can't change them. And then we begin to see those battles as irrelevant. Well, this ain't the real battle. I'm going out here to do the real work. Bullshit. That's the real battle. Because when you go out there, and give you an example, you have a relationship battle, and you say, well, that's that person. I'm about to go real deep. Well, that's just that person, and we didn't work together, and the relationship didn't work out. Bullshit. You run into that person again. And either you have become more effective strategists of solving the social, economic problems that exist there, or you haven't. And you come to see now that that person keeps showing up. Because it ain't that person. Society, Jack. You know what I'm making? It ain't just that person. How do you get another baby mama talking about the same thing and end up at the same place? How is that? It wasn't that person. It wasn't even personal. Come on. Just got caught up into it. So you think, well, I'll go find somebody else. You don't agree with me, I'll find with somebody else. You just gave up the battle. If at most you should have retreated and lifted weights and built up your weaponry. At most. You don't go find another battle, because now your battles are adding up. Now you got 3 or 4 battles. And children are being born into the battles. And now the children are becoming the battle as well. Y'all know what I'm saying? And all of it can be won. I'm not saying this to overwhelm anybody. We can be victorious, but only if we recognize what the real battle is. And they teach us about this individualism where we can say, well, we just don't agree. That's all it was. We didn't agree. I just didn't get along with that person, and they're them. They're this unique person, and I'm this unique me. But run into the same shit again because of society's loopholes and society's entrapment for the black man, woman, and child. Those traps have already been set. The landmines have already been put in place for us to walk on the motherfuckers and explode. The divine confrontation has already been set there for us. That's why this brother can talk about his experience and it's just like mine. And this brother can talk about his experience and it's just like mine. Now all of their experiences sound just like mine. Damn. Maybe it wasn't just that relationship. Maybe it was a bigger social economic problem underlying the issues of the relationships. But if we just looking at it as a relationship and looking at it like we newlyweds and we on the TV, Martin and Gina, and they couldn't even get along on the TV show. That really shows you something. They wasn't there for real, they couldn't get along. But we think we're operating from the TV show, not realizing that that's the revolution right there. You're in the revolution. You've been in the revolution. You've been in the revolution. You wasn't putting on no black military fatigues with a flag on, going out. That ain't the revolution. No. The revolution was right there when we decided to revolt against the social structure of society. So it's not that we come together because, we agree with all this idealism of King Noble. Bullshit. You've already revolted against society, and your revolution that you have already started led you over here with some other revolutionaries. That's it. That's it. And the best thing that can happen is our strategy can be worked out, and we can work together to solve these problems that are facing us as a community at large. That's nation building. That's nation building. So I'm not saying that we coming together because we want to put some uniforms on and get some leaflets. No. That ain't what this is about. We got to be more effective at winning significant battles. And those battles are in the home front, right in the community. And if we don't become more effective at those battles, we're not doing anything. If we're not challenging those battles, and some of us, while challenging them, we will get kicked out of prison. No problem. It did you a favor. They will kick some people out of prisons for the consciousness that you are at. Sisters say, I'm not through with you no more. You talking about this nation building stuff. I don't agree with this stuff you talking about. Get out. You've been kicked out of prison. Feel what I'm making? But you should have realized that you was no more than an informant. You follow what I'm making? Somebody who's informed. But that you was an agent in there doing a task called wake up the black nation. And if you're conscious, that's your job, to wake another individual up, not to get on no romance to become a Roman. We're not getting in relationships with people to experience the love boat. We didn't come here on the love boat. We came here on the slave ship. We're getting in relationships with people at this point in the game to wake them up. Do you feel the one I'm making? Does that mean you sitting at the dinner table like Hitler? No, it don't. It doesn't mean that. But while you may be sitting there looking like them, being with them, you got one thing on your mind. Let's wake up, Jack. Feel what I'm making? Literally. And you don't forget. You don't forget the plan, the goal, where you at in the game. You don't forget. You don't forget that. So when the challenges you are confronted by the challenges, you're aware of what they are. Because if you're not aware, you're going to react in an ignorant manner. People are really thrown off when they come against a challenge that they was unaware of that existed. They go all the way out of proportion and end up behind enemy lines. Literally. And end up behind enemy lines. Not because they want to be strong as an individual. As an individual, I'm going to fight against the Chicago Police Department. That's a losing battle. That's a losing battle. It's no individual that's going to fight the Chicago Police Department over domestic dispute. Not one of us is going to be successful with that. They'll have so many troops at your house. You believe you yourself are a police officer at an initiation ceremony. You know what I'm making? But we want to be an independent hero. We want to be Rambo as an individual. That don't work. Time should have taught us that. We can be proficient as individuals to win and be victorious on certain fronts. Don't get me wrong. That's not one of them. But if you're aware of the real problem, you know that the soldiers have already surrounded your camp. Our camp has already been surrounded. Long time ago, before we were born, our camp was surrounded. Literally. And they were already ready to keep down any confusion, any radicalness in our households. Because that's where it starts from. That's where it starts from. I got on my whole path about studying knowledge of self, and because of a relationship what I had with a sister, I got that mad that I decided to read every book in the library in the black section. So revolution starts at home. And you think they don't know that? That's why they're there. Call the police. You understand what I'm making? Get the police there. Not realizing that you can get so mad that you can walk out the house and become a god. But they say if you even see anything, call the police. He might hit you. Come on now. Come on. Because they know that call the police so we can know who and what is radical at what specific time. Where is he at? We got a slave over here that's bucking against the plantation, because that's what we're doing. We're bucking against the structure of the plantation. We're not going with it. We're not going with it. So they're trying to find out where we're at so they can move in. They're going to go from encampment to moving in. It's not your community. Why do you even have a police department set up? You don't live here. That's an encampment. That's a military occupation in our community. That's nothing but that. The police department is military occupation. That's it. And they ready to move at any point. Literally. And they need our disagreement and us working against one another to come inside. So my point in making that is that the real battles are at the home front, and it's with our relationships. That's the only place that it's going to come from. But if we keep remembering that we are teachers, that we are ministers, first. You can't be anything else until you are a minister first. Because a minister is a person who can administer the truth. And if you can't administer the truth, nothing else you have to give is valuable. And if your administration of the truth is not accepted, then what the hell else is it that you have to give? I'm going to give love and passion and romance and take you to the show. If you can't administer the goddamn truth, what else do you have to give? Y'all don't hear what I'm saying? A box of chocolates? Some flowers? The most valuable possession that you have to give is the truth. Is your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And if they have rejected that, what else is there? Y'all hear what I'm saying? So your first job is to administer the truth, because love should take you to truth. That's why they got love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You can start off at love. Got to be love. But then after love is truth. Y'all hear the point I'm making? Then you can have peace. Now we're free to do what's necessary so we can ensure the justice of our community and our society. But you got to start off at love and end up at truth. You don't start off at love and end up at the movie theater. End up at Ben's again. And Red Lobster. Macduff. The White Castle. That black man gonna eat in the White Castle.
Barack Obama.
Come on. At the Navy Pier. But it ain't your Navy. So we gotta go to truth. We gotta administer truth. And we gotta realize that that's our real position. If your administration of truth is not accepted, you have no power. And you really have no real position. If you're building and somebody is not listening to you, and there's not an open level of communication between individuals, then there's only objectification. You're an object of some sort. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Because I'm not listening to you, there's no rational communication here. Then what are you? Just a damn Negro. The point that I'm making? Holding up and taking up space. So our first job is to administer truth as physicians. The first medication is truth, because they ain't going to take one another if they ain't going to receive the truth. They tell you that this is going on, and if you don't do this, that, and the other, this is what's really happening to you. That was the truth. So if you didn't accept that truth, how are you going to receive the medication? How are you going to receive the prescription if you didn't receive the truth? So the first medication that has to be accepted is the truth. So we must make sure that we're dealing with our people constantly and continuously in truth. That's the only power that we have against this damn devil. Y'all hear the point I'm making? We have no other power outside of the administration of truth. And once we see people accept the administration of truth, then we can establish a solid community. If they reject the administration of truth, there will be no community. There will be no family. Because they don't accept the administration of truth from whence it comes. From whence it comes. Some of us as men, we want to be mama's boys. So we don't want to administer the truth. But the job of a man is to administer the truth. That's the first job. the administration of the